LEGO Star Wars MOC Building is one of the most popular and creative parts of the LEGO Star Wars hobby, and there are so many talented builders who create incredible LEGO Star Wars creations over the years. In this video, I want to look at what I think are some of the best and certainly my favorite LEGO Star Wars MOCs. Jumping right to it, the first build I want to talk about is by Marcus over on Flickr, titled Yavin 4 After the Empire. We have seen so many Yavin 4 MOCs over the years, depicting the rebel base rather well, but recently this one stood out so much to me, and it is just a magnificent build that was heavily inspired by Brickvault's Yavin 4 showcased on the Brickvault YouTube channel. This build depicts the temple in an overgrown and run down way, long after the Empire had discovered the rebel base in episode 4, and this is clearly illustrated through the good use of different greenery and vinery over the physical temple build, as well as the rundown and overgrowth designs on both the X-Wing and Y-Wing. Out of all the Yavin 4 MOCs I have ever seen over the years, I would say this is easily one of the best and certainly my favorite. From the same talented builder, I also want to look at the Battle on Rhen from Star Wars Battlefront. This is another massive MOC depicting a lesser known part or planet from the Star Wars universe, which I think was really cool to see. We see some good dark grey and white terrain work to depict the snowy and rocky terrain seen on this planet, as well as multiple different vehicles which I believe might also be custom made for this creation. The known facts about this one is that the building time took around 10 months, and it consists of 250 minifigures and 250,000 pieces, which is absolutely insane. The build also has an enclosed rebel base depicting the hangar bay for some of the vehicles, and these custom X-Wings, Y-Wings and Snowspeeders are credited to Slacky, Rick Wright and Larry Lars for their custom designs. I think this MOC is a bit more interesting and different compared to the several large Hoth creations over the years, and it is just so interesting to look at all the different designs and the layout of this massive build. Marcus did an incredibly good job on this one. One of my favorite LEGO Star Wars MOC builders that I have talked about quite a few times before is First Order LEGO, and the MOC I want to talk about is actually another Yavin 4 MOC. This one is based on Yavin 4 scenes from Star Wars Battlefront 2 and is showcased on First Order LEGO's Flickr page and YouTube channel. All will be linked in the description below. The main part of the build is the ruined, overgrown Yavin and Aztec inspired temple, with some larger trees to the side as well, and then a central courtyard depicting a battle that could easily take place in something like Star Wars Battlefront. I believe this MOC is created to be rather accurate to the Battlefront Yavin 4 map, but I haven't been on Battlefront in quite some time, so I cannot comment much on that. But as for the physical build, terrain work and general layout and minifigure use, I really like this MOC and it is just so satisfying to look at. As with all his Star Wars MOCs, this one is incredibly well done. On a different note, I want to talk about this massive Executor class Super Star Destroyer by OneCase over on Flickr. This is an incredible build that I recently discovered when browsing the platform, and it is just so magnificent and well designed. We have seen a UCS Super Star Destroyer all the way back in 2011 and will likely be seeing a new one in 2026 as well. But this custom design is at a much better and higher level than we will ever see in a LEGO set. The length of this build is 132 centimeters, which if I am not mistaken isn't much longer than the official UCS set, but it has a piece count of 7,312 pieces, which is more than double the pieces of the official LEGO set. The design and details on this one are perfect, and this would be the dream UCS set for any LEGO Star Wars fan, and I can imagine it would be an insane display piece on any longer shelf or the center of some longer table. 1K seems to specialize in custom LEGO Star Wars ships or vehicle designs, and this Executor Super Star Destroyer is definitely a standout MOC from his page. Another custom ship I want to look at is from Caleb Ricks over on Flickr as well, and this is the UT-60D U-Wing, or otherwise just the U-Wing from Rogue One and Andor. This is a rather recent MOC as well, posted to his page in September of this year, and I just think it is so well done. The U-Wing is one of the most beloved new ships from newer Star Wars media, and has grown to be very iconic and beloved, especially by LEGO Star Wars fans. We have seen this ship twice before as official LEGO Star Wars sets, but this custom design tops those sets and acts as a reference as to what a UCS U-Wing could look like, if we are ever able to see something like that someday. The design is done incredibly well, and you would barely be able to tell it is LEGO from afar, as I cannot even spot a single exposed stud on the exterior of this ship, which is quite cool and something I really like. The instructions of this design is also available on the Brickvault website, as well as the part list to build this one for yourself. Moving on, I want to talk about a few different individual builds, all from Micro Sopelsa or Starbricks on Flickr and their own website it seems. He created several different buildable characters which look absolutely insane, and in my opinion this is the quality we should see when it comes to buildable characters in actual LEGO Star Wars sets. One of his designs include a scout trooper on a scout speeder, and we see several different variations of this build with different speeder designs, and one of them even used IG-11 on top of the speeder bike instead of the scout trooper. He also has a series of different characters such as a stormtrooper, a shore trooper, and K2SO, built in the style of actual LEGO Star Wars sets with information plaques and a place to display some minifigures alongside the build, and different detachable builds for utilities and tools used by the different troopers. Out of these few mentioned, I think the shore trooper is my favorite, and the helmet design looks so good at this scale. And I think these builds really show just what can be done in the buildable character style, better than what LEGO is currently producing. It doesn't stop there either, as he also created a 501st Clone Trooper on an AT-RT, which also looks very cool, and at the scale it was done so well. But on a different note, Starbricks also has non-buildable character designs, and one of my favorite is the Resistance Bomber. The Resistance Bomber is probably my favorite ship from the sequel trilogy, and the official set is my favorite set from those movies too. But this custom design just tops that in every way possible. This depicts what a UCS bomber could look like, and is built so well with so many small details and designs that could never be included in the smaller playscale version of the ship released by LEGO. This is of course also a lot more accurate than that playset, especially when it comes to the cockpit and the main bottom structure of the build, which was way too narrow and pointy in the official playset. I believe this build is made to be minifigure scaled as well, which is something I think is always cool to see with these types of larger ships from Star Wars. And then the final MOC I want to look at is another one from First Order LEGO that I wanted to quickly talk about as well, and that is the Krynka escape from The Mandalorian. This is a smaller MOC that I always thought looked so cool and is such an interesting scene to depict in LEGO. I really love these medium-sized builds opposed to some of the massive diorama-based MOCs, as it is so easier to digest and appreciate the smaller details and designs. And I think that is especially the case with this build. The terrain work is done very well, and the small snowy peaks scattered over the base of the MOC looks so cool, and the variety of different white Krynka spiders streaming into the scene is so cool to look at too. I really like this one, and recently it has become one of my favorite MOCs from First Order LEGO, so I think it is worth showing. But all that said, what do you think are some of the best LEGO Star Wars MOCs ever made? Let me know down below. Then I will see you all in the next one. God bless you, and cheers.